Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You know, listen to the mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And we're gonna talk about this today. The magnetic field does not exist. I repeat, the magnetic field does not exist. You see what I'm saying? So any kind of science that you hear about the magnetic field and it's some type of field that's blocking radiation or shit like that, or a magnetic pole shift and a north and a south pole, these things do not exist. These things are visible. These things are as made up as Santa Claus. So you need to keep that in mind. And keep that in mind. These things are made up. So, and throughout this video, now everything is backed and supported by water or current, wave current. So that's what we need to understand. So I'm going to break down this video how even water plays a more important role than magnetism throughout this, because I don't really understand why scientists are teaching this in schools and things of that nature. And since I know I'm dealing with a lot of scientists and things of that nature now, I want to bring this to the forefront. So for the most part, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, the magnetic field. Now, you need to know this. This is made up by Greeks, and the Greeks was based upon somebody's science about magnetism. But you need to understand where actual magnetism come from. What creates a magnetic field in general? What creates a magnetic field is like a mineral or element called magnetites. Right? So magnetites is what create a magnetic field. So it's just an element or it's just a mineral or something on a periodic table or something like that. But magnetites, it's a form of an iron. You see what I'm saying? It's a form of an iron. And here's the kicker right here, right? It can only travel via a body of water, a water wave, or ocean current, or a current of water. You know what I'm saying? This is the only way this can travel. So already by default, water plays a more important role in space than this magnetic field already. But we're going to go a little bit deeper, you know what I'm saying? Because this is some globe earth shit and some NASA shit, you know what I'm saying? But keep this in mind, right? So a magnetic field is created by magnetites. This is how we create magnets, right? So a magnetite is a form of an iron, and iron can only travel via a wave of water or ocean current. So already this is kind of psyching your mind up of what's getting ready to be more important. Now, keep this in mind. Now look at it from a compass point of view, right? Look at it from a compass point of view, right? Now say you got this North Pole or South Pole type shit which doesn't exist, right? Because the science that they're trying to teach you how it exists is all false. You need to understand that you are being led by an ocean current. So this big body of water, which that's what a star is, you need to understand it's a wave of consciousness, and this current is going in a certain pattern, is going in a certain current flow. So for the most part, check this out. Say you got a compass, right? Now if you got a compass, now the compass is not controlled by this magnetic field or magnetic pole, that north-south pole that people claim to be. This is why they get confused, and when they go north, they actually going south. But here's what's actually going on. It's controlled by the water current. The overall water current, our body of water, that's what it's controlled by. So if you got a compass, right, you need to understand you need to start understanding ocean currents. Start understanding bodies of water, and you will start to understand the platform we are on. I repeat once again, water is not on earth. Earth is on water. Water is not on earth. Earth is on water. And I'm going to slowly but surely break this down to y'all. Now, for the most part, like I said, say you got a compass, right? Now, I'm telling you, as Archangel Uriel, as a whole body of water that we're all on as a platform, the current is going towards the right. So as a compass, you look at a compass, the compass will always go towards north. But you need to understand that's telling you that the ocean current is actually going towards eastern, aka the eastern continents, right? So if you was to keep going north on your compass, you would end up in Antarctica, though. You see what I'm saying? You would end up in Antarctica. But here's the kicker. Just to realize that the ocean current in Antarctica is moving back towards the eastern continents. So what you're realizing is it wasn't no magnetic thing that drew the compass there. The compass is drew towards the air movement, aka what's moving, how the air move is the water body of movement, and the planetary movements. So it's telling you the direction that everything is going, aka the body of water and where it's going. So it's going towards, it's in a spin cycle going towards what y'all would call the southern continents to the eastern continents. not southern continents, but for the most part, like if you was to go east, that's really the north on the compass. But if you going north on the compass, you'll end up in Antarctica. But just to realize that all the body of water that's flowing as a current from Antarctica is going towards the direction of the eastern continents, like Asia and shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So you'll just, only thing you'll realize is you're doing a circle. A circle. That's the only thing you'll realize you're doing. So I guarantee you, as Archangel Uriel, me telling you, I guarantee you, if you do any kind of research on where's the strongest body of water, I guarantee you it's Antarctica. Therefore, that shit has nothing to do with no goddamn magnetic field. It got something to do with a motherfucking ocean current, a body of water, a water current. So this is no your currency, what's actually current now, or in our present time, what's going on currently. All this is dealing with ocean currents. That's what y'all need to understand. This is why water holds memory. Now that this is already telling you off the back. Now I put this into words because I know a lot of scientists is watching now. That's why I want to make sure I'm speaking more coherently, so I could come across a lot better. So for the most part, now this is how I see it. You see what I'm saying? Now, like I said, magnetism is itself. Magnetites, that iron, magnetites itself, here's how that even got manifested in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Magnetism itself is derived from energies lacking of other energies. See, so it's manifested from that. It's after the fact. But it actually comes from natural attraction or natural selection or what you resonate with. And I'm going to break that down. For an example, when something doesn't have something, it gets pulled into the direction subconsciously towards the thing it don't have. Then once in focus on that thing, there's another energy that would appear for the object not to have. Then it will get pulled in that direction. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you don't have, it's like as a planet or a star or a body of water, it goes in like water. You see, water goes into a space that it hasn't been in. Then once it goes into that space, it can see or perceive another space it could go into that it hasn't been in. But let's take this on a conscious level. You see what I'm saying? So subconsciously towards the thing that it don't have, once in focus on that thing, there's another energy that will appear for that object not to have. Then it will get pulled in that direction as an empty space to go into. You see what I'm saying? But it's not an empty space. That's what y'all need to understand. Key word. Now, let me break this down into 3D terms so you can understand relativity. Now, in 3D, you always, I don't care who you are, you could be a bug and just on a conscious level of purely natural selection at the moment. You always gravitate towards the things you don't have. And in a sense, that energy itself pulls you, but not in a sense of magnetism. You see what I'm saying? In a sense it pull you, but not in a sense of magnetism. It's more like attraction. So I know your mind gonna be right now like, well, isn't attraction is a form of magnetism? No, it's actually apparent. Magnetism is an offspring even under attraction. You know why? Because I'm attracted to a lot of things, but everything I'm attracted to don't necessarily pull me towards it. I could think a girl is very beautiful. That don't necessarily mean I'm gonna talk to her. So yeah, she's very attractive. She has great magnetism. That doesn't necessarily mean I got attracted to it. I actually acted on getting sucked into it. So when you look at magnetism, that plays out physically. When we talk about attraction, that shit ain't got shit to do with magnetism. But magnetism got everything to do with attraction. But when you talk about attraction, that ain't got shit to do with magnetism. You see what I'm saying? That's how you understand parenting. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about masculine and feminine energies, that parenting a lot of shit. A lot of shit that feminine and masculine ain't got shit to do with. You think you a female, yeah, you got feminine energies. You think you a male, yeah, you got masculine energies, but masculine and feminine itself ain't got shit to do with that. You see what I'm saying? So those are the parenting energies. You know what I'm saying? Then you got offspring energies. So magnetism is nothing more, nothing less but an offspring of attraction. But it's also an offspring of something that's missing something. So magnetism is an offspring, so it's already by default weaker than a lot of other shit on this platform that we on in this realm and shit like that. So magnetism are weak as fuck. So scientists need to even stop motherfucking kicking that bullshit. I'm tired of seeing you motherfucking scientists on the goddamn internet and teaching this goddamn bullshit in goddamn schools. Because for the most part, it goes like this. NASA wants you to believe it's a magnetic field. See, they want you to believe it's you inside some kind of round circle balloon of a magnetic field being blocked by radiation. Remind you, I take my ass outside every day and ain't nothing blocking that goddamn sun from hitting my motherfucking skin. So any fucking thing that's made up after that, I choose to just experience myself and see it for myself. But goddamn it, y'all motherfuckers getting old and wrinkly and transforming every day y'all up under those goddamn lights. I don't think it's no goddamn field blocking shit. And if it is a magnetic field, last time I checked, a magnet attracts. So it's attracting shit. How a magnetic field blocking shit? Last time I checked, a magnetic field sucks shit. Oh, fuck. Now check this out. Check this out. This is all made up. So that's what you need to know. Everything is back to supported by motherfucking ocean current. You know what I'm saying? So don't let no old Greek philosopher fuck your mind up. You know what I'm saying? With some fuck ass electronic field that we can even see. I just broke down in 3D how that shit is weak. So how that shit got any power in a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension? This shit made up. It's made up. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I clearly want to break this down right now. I wrote this down. Now this is how I want everybody to understand. I should make this a separate video, but I want everybody to get this clear real quick, right? I go by a system called systematic truth. Right now, you can't go on Google and do none of this shit, right? Because it's Archangel Uriel shit. The only closest thing you could probably find on it is motherfucking something that's called systematic theology. Now that's something that Christians use or something that religious people use to be able to put every religious thing in one box. But you know, I'm Archangel Uriel from a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional level. So for the most part, I like to call this systematic truth. Now, what is systematic truth? Systematic truth is the only things we can claim as true about a specific system. Now, what is a system? We see systems going along every day. We got the solar system, you got the ecosystem, you got your organ system, organization. If you got a job, that business is a system, your car is a system. So we know how to specify or specifically point out systems, right? So now I take this on a general life level, right? So for the most part, it's only things that we can claim to be true. So anytime you add something to it, you are adding your own interpretation, and that is a form of lostness. For an example, now here will be a question in a systematic truth, right? How you got here. So how you got here, that's a system. We see how everything get here. Well, you might not see how everything get here, but we know it's a system to how everything get here, right? So here's the thing. That will be the system. Now, what is the systematic truth of that? Now, from within, from without. How you got here was from within, from without. You was in something and you came out of something. Now, the moment you start to add something to that, you get lost. You have interpretation. You have created the form of man and woman lostness, interpretation. You know why? Because now you are assuming now. But you don't have to assume that. You know you was in something and you came out of something. So you shouldn't even have no ideas and concepts in your mind on if that system stopped. What would make you think that system stopped? What would make you think that process stopped? For an example, right? You know how you got here. You know how a dog got here. You know how a bug got here, right? So now you here now. What would make you think that system stopped? That kind of system stopped just because of what kind of realm of reality or dimension or what level of it you're on at the moment, right? So the moment you even come up with ideas on why death will be something different and you won't be born again, the moment you start to dive into that, you get lost. And then the moment you start to even dive into religion type ways on how you got here and how you think you left and shit, like, you get lost. The only thing you know to be true about that system is something was in something and it came out of something. So you need to build on that. Start there. Start there. Don't get lost in the other shit. Start there. You see what I'm saying? Here's another systematic truth, right? What do your senses do? So, you know, I ask a scientist that. First thing they say is, your senses, well, your eyesight, that allows you to see, so that senses do that. Your ear allows you to hear, your senses do that. You see what I'm saying? Your hand senses allows you to touch. You see what I'm saying? Then we get lost in the left brain, where I'm talking about the systematic truth. Now, the system is, what do your senses do? So that'll be the system. That's the specific system I'm pointing out. The senses, what do they do? Now, what's the systematic truth without getting lost? The truth of that is they receive. That's it. At the root cause, before you add all the science to your mind and all the other shit, at the root cause, what do your senses do? Receive. So start there. Don't start where scientists or you went to school 100 years. Don't start where they're trying to tell you to start, where, okay, first you got the 5 senses, the sight, the see, and then once you start there, you already lost. Then you'll be unaware that you got more senses than that. Then once me, RJ Uriel, tell you you got like 1,000 senses, you'll look at me like I'm crazy. Like I'm just a motherfucking nigga who smoke weed and get into theories and shit. Where really 1,000 years of you being into college, you'll end up finally learning a piece of what I'm talking about now. Then you'll be like, oh shit, this guy was right. Why are you wasting your time? So at the end of the day, what do the senses do? What's the systematic truth of that? They receive. Period. When you talk about eyesight, you receive light. When you talk about hearing, you receive that. You receive the sound and it hit your eardrum. You know what I'm saying? Even when you touch something, you receive the elements that was opposite to whatever you're touching for you to even perceive it to be separate from you. Otherwise, why you don't always say you're touching yourself? Unless you fingering yourself or jacking off. You see what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers be lost. Now check this out. Like I said, once again, what is life? Life is a system. So what is the systematic truth of what is life? Sustaining, indulging. Point blank, period. You know what I'm saying? The moment you start to add other shit, religious shit and all that shit like that, you get lost. When you need to understand life itself, the grounding root cause of it is sustaining. You ain't doing nothing else but trying to sustain something. So once you understand the systematic truth out of shit, you'll really start to clearly see beneath the veil and start to see what is actually right and what is actually wrong. Then you've been trying to live life for so long, you ain't even know trying to live life is actually wrong. In this aspect, you see what I'm saying? Woo! Like I said, what is death? What's the system of it? At the root cause, what's the systematic truth of what is death? Now, the death is the system. What's the truth of it? Transformation. It's a transformation of energy. That's it. Moment you start to add shit, oh, you're gonna die and go wherever, you lost yourself. Now, when we talk about dimensions and fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension and shit like that, now we can get to something that makes sense when you transform. The moment y'all talk about dying and going somewhere forever and all that, you lost people. You know what I'm saying? What is God? What is the systematic truth of that? God is a system. What is the system of it? The concept, root cause of it is the first of something. I don't care if it's a person, place, or thing, shape, or form. The cause of something. Period. I mean, the first of something. Period. The first of something. Period. So a lot of things that y'all cling to that created whatever you on first, that be y'all God. But that be just the thing that created that first. That ain't got shit to do. That ain't got shit to do with another creator. I'm gonna leave y'all alone, man. Like, what is everything doing? Everything is a system. What is the systematic truth of that? What is everything doing? What is the systematic truth of that? Expanding and contracting. You can't name one thing that ain't expanding and contracting. Even to the goddamn man and woman man-made things that we goddamn created. It's expanding and contracted in some goddamn way. You see what I'm saying? Once you get on the systematic truth, you really be able to understand what's actually going on. Like, what is energy? What's the systematic truth of energy? Power. You see what I'm saying? Like, you got to clearly understand these things. You see what I'm saying? And don't get lost into man-made interpretation of what power is and where power came from. You just need to know energy is backed and supported by power. So all power come from a goddamn source. But in order for something to be a source, it has to have resources. So that source didn't even exist without the resources. So it take a bunch of resources for there to be a source. AKA it take a bunch of people to pay attention to one thing for that thing to be even glorious in the first place, for a lot of people to want to gain that to be the source of it. So for the most part, take that into every fucking concept. Motherfucker. A lot of y'all motherfuckers be doing infinite regresses. You know what I'm saying? That's 3D lostness. That infinite regress, that's a system. That's a system where there ain't no fucking beginning. So that's like a science or something that you're clinging on to where it's an infinite regress. There's never a beginning to it. You always could be like, then what created that? Then what created that? Then if you are in some type of system that you're clinging on to that kind of theology, you need to hurry up and get out of that, because that's a form of infinite regress, and that's already a contradiction. Especially when it comes to the spirit. And when we talk about God, God is a parameter. The first space and location. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got shit to do with your emotions and feelings about what was goddamn created around it. Shit that started getting created was from other motherfuckers who came way after the fact and wanted you to sustain yourself in their creation. You see what I'm saying? Some flight buzz, bitch. Goddamn air.